Good morning to all of you. Recently, on 7th February 2021, the Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, previously we used to call it as District Forum of Hyderabad, slapped a penalty of 15,000 rupees to Hyderabad Central, which is a very famous mall located in Panjagutta, Hyderabad, for resorting to an unfair trade practice of selling rupees 10 for a bag which carried its logo. This is the main problem. You may be knowing the Consumer Protection Act. Now we have to call it as Consumer Protection Act 2019. Previous act has been amended and a new restructured act has come into existence. Therefore, we have to call it as CP Act 2019. It is actually published or promulgated in order to protect the interest of the genuine consumers who consume goods for their or services for their personal use. So, the gullible consumer should not be cheated. Yesterday, I discussed the case of Nivea cream, where also an imperfect memory person can get confused that whether it is Nivea or Joy. So he may go for thinking that it is Nivea cream. That is the passing of case yesterday I discussed. So, please remember, the Consumer Protection Act mainly deals with, number one, deficiency in the service, defect in the product, and lastly to say any unfair trade practice. So the trade practices should be fair. Whatever you advertise, you have to give it. Suppose if you gave 10% some discount or something, you have to give. Otherwise, it amounts to unfair trade practice. So there are umpteen number of cases where it was recently decided by the consumer courts that the malls or the so-called stores, they can sell the bags at the rate of 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, but they should not bear the logo of the mall. So if it bears the logo of the mall, it is nothing but advertisement. Therefore, you have to give it free of cost. Here what happened is, our complainant, Mr. Bejjam, his name is Mr. V. Bejjam of Kawadiguda, Hyderabad city, on one day went to the central shopping mall. Of course, he enjoyed there, and he purchased one shirt for about 1400 rupees, which was packed, and the logo, with the logo of the bag, they have given it back to him. And he was, of course, not shocked, but he was a little bit suspicious about the collection of rupees 10. He asked them, they said, yes, it is worth about 10 rupees. If you want, we will give, otherwise, no. He took it, but it has got the logo. Later, after coming out on the net, he surfed and he came to know that this is an unfair trade practice. So, as defined in Section 2, Clause 3 and also Clause 4 of the Consumer Protection Act, right? So, immediately he approached the Consumer Redressal Disputes Commission, CDRC we call it as, and filed a case according to Section 28 of the present Act, 28. So you can file a complaint. You may be knowing there is no pro forma for it. You can file in any manner you like. Even there will be a help desk for also the same, right? So he filed the case. Of course, as usual, the Consumer Protection Council, the chairman, the president, and 2 other members, they conducted almost an inquiry just following the procedure of the Code of Civil Procedure, and ultimately slapped 15,000 rupees fine on the central mall for duping the gullible customer, for causing him mental agony. Right? This is the main. So you may be knowing in Consumer Protection Act, normally what we say is the 3 R's. Number 1, the first R is for remove the defect. If the part is not there, then replace the part. And if it is also not possible, then repay the amount or the value to the particular part. Actually, this is the major reproduction, or we can call it as the inquiry or the result of the so-called Consumer Protection Act. So normally they want damages. The damages can be awarded in these three forms. Now, once again, it is another case where the consumer is being duped. It is an unfair trade practice. Here what I want to tell is that if the bag doesn't bear the logo of Central Mall, yes, they can sell, no problem. But when it bears the logo of the Central Mall, it's nothing but advertisement. When advertisement is there, why should the gullible consumer, why should the innocent consumer pay the money for that and become a brand ambassador for the Central Mall? This is the theory behind it. So, as per section 39, the Honorable Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, Hyderabad 2. Yes, they have given a order. We can call it as it's not a judgment order, asking the Central Mall to pay rupees 15,000, of course, towards the mental agony, towards the expenses, or towards the exemplary costs, whatever you think. So they have imposed it. So it should be there. Previously, this big bazaar people, they were also slapped the same amount. Of course, for them, 15,000, I think they are a few peanuts. But the judgment, it will create awareness among so many people. And you also, please advise your clients. So if they give the bag free of cost, is okay. If you purchase it, it should not have the logo because it gives you advertisement. This is what I intend to tell you. You can also inform your people and it will definitely enrich your knowledge, and it will become, whenever you question, then they will drop the collection of the so-called 10 rupees. Thank you very much.